Well, hi friends, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. I am so glad you guys are all here. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Brenda, and this is my sweet Oliver, and we are glad you joined us today. So with all of that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, DIY number one. So I'm going to take one of these 12 by 12 wood frames, and I am going to go over it with my Dixie Belle gel stain in the color walnut. I got this from Chalk Couture. You can get it in a lot of places, but I'm just going to wipe it off and use a towel to brush it on and use a towel to wipe off the excess. And there you'll see me doing that there too. Um, you can do antique wax with this if you'd like. In fact, it was a little too dark for me, so I end up using antique wax on the rest of the stuff that I do with this picture. But I just took some Mod Podge, and on the other side of it, I'm just going to brush it on and let it dry. I have this paper from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to cut it down using my paper cutter to the size that I want, and it's pretty much half of the paper. I didn't really measure for sure, but that it was about that. So I'm just gonna put my paper down, cover it with parchment paper to keep the paper protected, and use my heat press to go over that paper and reactivate the Mod Podge so it sticks. So I did the same thing with the stripes here, and yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. If you've been with me for a while, you know this is my favorite way of doing that. So then I just went ahead and went over the paper with some Mod Podge. Now this did bubble on me a little bit, and I just real lightly with my parchment paper put my heat press on those bubbles for just like a half a second, so that way the parchment paper didn't stick to that Mod Podge. Then I took my finger sander and I sanded off any extra paper there. And I'm going to take these reed sticks. I have these in my Amazon store. I love these. They are so handy to use. And there's a link to my Amazon store in the description box if you're interested. But I am just going to use my miter shears, which is also in my Amazon store, to cut these. And I'm cutting them at an angle so I can have more of a framed look. And I'm just kind of laying them in place, and then using my pencil to cut right where, to mark right where I want to cut them. And I have 4 of these sticks that I cut. And then I took one of these stars from Dollar Tree, and this is where I went over all of them with my antique wax. I just thought the walnut was a little too dark for what I was wanting. So then I'm going to take a paper towel with my antique wax, and I'm just going to antique this paper. I wanted it to have more of a antique-ish primitive look, I guess. So I'm just going to go over the whole paper and just kind of wipe it off, wipe it on, and just wipe it in so that we have a little bit more of that stained look. Then I'm going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick Multi-Surface Glue, which I absolutely love. And I'm going to glue these pieces all around my sign, and just making sure that they're connecting. Now, I don't push real hard on these as I'm going around, because I know once I have all 4 pieces on there, I'm going to make sure that they're all connected nicely, and then push them down. And then I use my little clips here from Dollar Tree to kind of clip them in place. And I waited maybe 5 minutes. And then I'm going to take this star, and I'm going to do the same thing with my Titebond glue, and then I'm just going to lay that down in place, give it about 5 minutes. While that was drying, I took these 1-inch numbers. They came with the 1-inch letters that I get from Amazon, and I'm just painting them with my Crimson Color by Waverly. And then I took this ribbon that also came from Amazon. Oh my goodness, I love it. It's 2-sided. It's stars on one side, stripes on the other. This ribbon with the stars is from Hobby Lobby. I think they have it every year. But I'm just making bows by doing the awareness ribbon, scrunching them up in the middle, and then taking my twine here to tighten them and to attach them together. I just tighten that real tight, make a knot, and cut off the excess. And then I'm going to fold those tails in half and cut at an angle, which is called a dovetail, just to give it that decorative touch. And then I'm just going to glue this on the bottom. I kind of played around with trying to figure out where I wanted the bow, and I just felt like it fit the bottom the best. I took a little wood star that I had, and I'm just brushing on some of that antique wax, and then I am going to hot glue that to the front of my bow. And then I took two of these are the jumbo craft sticks from Walmart, and I glued them together using hot glue, and then I'm going to use hot glue again to glue it to the back. And the reason why I was doing this is I wanted to use, those boards are really thin, and trying to staple it would cause it to go through the board. So that's why I added those craft sticks on the back, and that way I could staple the hanger in. Because of the frame in the front, I couldn't make a hanger holes. So then I just put some twine there, and then I just went over it with that walnut to just let it blend in, and there it is. I love this. I think it is so pretty. I hope you do too. You'll have to let me know in the comment box below. I hope you guys enjoyed that project. I have a few more for you. I am so glad that you guys come and watch my videos, and I always like to take this moment to thank you guys and to tell you how much I appreciate you. I'm at a loss for words, I guess. It was one of those mornings this morning. I was drinking coffee. Let me rephrase that. My husband, he always makes his coffee because he uses the French press, and he just has his little ways of making it what he thinks is perfect, which it is pretty good. And he gave me my coffee, and I just sat there. Just sat there and sat there. Finally, he's like, "You need to drink your coffee." I'm like, "I'm too tired." And so the next thing I know, he's just gabbing away, and I'm like my stepson came in, and the grandkids came in, and they're talking, and I'm like, "There's too much talking going on." My husband's like, "Drink your coffee." Yeah, it took me a while to get going this morning, so I think it's still affected me. I'm still like, ugh, I'm tired, and I don't know what to say, and yeah. Anyways, that's just a little bit into my life and what my mornings are like. Normally I drink my coffee, read my Bible, and I'm awake and I'm good and I'm ready to go. But this morning I was just really struggling. But anyways, I'm alive, I'm awake now, and we are here and talking about today's video and talking about you guys, because I truly appreciate all of you guys that are here. And I hope you guys are learning from me. I am going to try and learn more techniques and try and share that more often. I know I kind of get in a rut sometimes and do the same thing over, and I keep telling myself, oh, I got to do something different. So give me a comment in the comment box if there's some things that you're interested in me showing, like some new techniques or something that you're interested in, or maybe even if you don't know how to do something and would like me to show a little bit more on how to do it, even if it's something that I already do. If you want me to go more in depth, let me know. I'd love to help you out, and that's what this channel is for. It's all about you, not just about me. Oliver thinks it's about him. Actually, I think this video channel is about Oliver, but that's another story. Anyways, if you're new here, again, welcome. If you enjoyed today's video and enjoy home decor on a budget, I invite you to hit that red subscribe button before you go and become part of our YouTube family. And then let me know in the comment box that you're new here so I can get to know you as well. So, and then again, with all of you that show up every week, I appreciate you guys so very much. And I am so glad you're here. So with all of that, let's get on with the video. Okay, DIY number 2. So I took this sign this came from Hobby Lobby. You could use any square sign if you want to recreate this. I taped off some of the stripes there. I'm going to go over them with that crimson color. And then I took this cross that I got recently from Hobby Lobby, and I'm painting this with Apple Barrel's Admiral Blue. Admiral, there we go. You could use any cross that you might have, or any dark navy blue that you might have, to recreate this if you want. So I'm going to take some of those star paper, the blue paper with the white stars that I used on the first project. I'm just going to trace out that cross, and then I'm going to add my Mod Podge to the front of the cross. As you can see, I didn't paint the whole front of the cross. I just really wanted to paint the edges. That way, if the paper was a little short, it wouldn't be as noticeable. And then I laid my paper down on it, put my parchment paper on it again, and went over it with my heat press. After that, I am going to sand off the excess. And did I not show you? Normally I don't do the sanding until I add Mod Podge to the top of it, but I think, oh no, I guess I sanded it first. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I ended up going over it with Mod Podge again to give that protective layer. Then I took some more of those 1-inch wood letters from Amazon and went over it with that Admiral Blue as well. And then I laid them all where I want them, and I'm going to use my Tite Bond glue to glue them all in place. Now when I glued this, I should have covered, when I glued all of this, I should have covered those hanger holes, and that's my first thought was I was going to do, because this is going to be a shelf sitter. But then I was like, oh, I got to make sure I leave room for the twine to hang it, because I've done that before where I haven't left room and then had to make new holes. And then I got this all glued in and realized, oh my goodness, I should have covered them, because this is going to be a shelf sitter. So what I did is I took 2 little patini stars that I had, painted them with that blue, that Admiral Blue, and I'm going to glue them over the holes. And then I have these 1-inch wood blocks that I got from Amazon, and I painted them white. And then I'm going to use my Tite Bond glue and hot glue to glue these into the back so that we have a little stand. Now when you do this, you want to kind of angle your sign a little bit, so that way it will stand up straight. I had a heck of a time getting this to stand up. So anyways, I had to kind of take it apart and fix it. So there it is. I really love this one. I hope you do too. Let me know about this in the comment box below. Okay, celebration of your recreations. And we have Corrine here. I just love everything you made. Those little glass jars, I think, are the yogurt jars. They're so adorable. And then Amanda made this adorable hive sign. I love it, Amanda. Thank you. And then we have Susan, who made these sweet little pieces here. I love that butterfly sign. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your projects with me. And if you have a creation or recreation that you would like me to showcase, you can send pictures to my email address that's listed there, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Okay, DIY number 3. So I have this brand new from Chalk Couture. This stencil is called Flag Company, and when I saw it, I knew I wanted to get it. I am going to fuzz it, and if you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, it is a adhesive silk screen stencil. We call them transfers, but it's a stencil, and we fuzz it the first time we use it. That way it doesn't pull up any paint or the chalk paste when you first use it. So after I usually fuzz it about 4 or 5 times, I am going to lay it in place on my sign. Now this sign I also got from Chalk Couture, and but you could use, if you don't have if you get this transfer and don't want to pay the money for the sign, you could always put 3 of the wood hanging signs from Dollar Trees together, and that should work. So I took my new chalk paste, this new color called Home. I am going to go over the outer little trim there with it, and because this is so big and I'm going to use 3 different colors, I'm going to lift and then lay it back down and make sure that where it hasn't been pasted yet is sealed good. And then I'm going to go over it with the next color, which this was, I can't remember, Candy Apple. And then I'm going to continue to do this. Now I'm going to, what I liked about this sign was those little sections. So I'm like, okay, this will be perfect to just do the first section on the sign, which I lifted those early, but and then just kind of do each section, and that way it can help me mark where I stopped. So I'm using, I think this is shimmer gold on the small writing, on the star, on the top of the flags, the flagpoles, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I followed what they have on their website as far as the colors. When I looked it up to see what they did for theirs, I was shocked, because this is kind of what I was thinking about doing for colors. So I just went with how they did theirs. If you are not familiar with Chalk Couture, I am a Chalk Couture designer. I do have a link to my Chalk Couture page in my description box. You can go on there and check it out. Or you can always email me and ask me questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions. So once I was done and got that all cleaned, this is super easy. I decided not to do anything else to that sign because I just love it. And I just marked where I want to put my hangers. And I took some of my favorite braided jute cord that I get from Amazon as well. And I'm just going to staple them in. This sign is really thick and I thought it would be perfect. So I'm just going to staple them into the back of the sign, and that's all there is for that. I just love this. I think it's so cute. But anyways, you have to let me know what you think about this as well in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 4, our final DIY, you guys. I am going to take this home sign from Dollar Tree. I am going to remove the hanger from it, and I'm just using this little pick because those were in there really good, and then use my staple remover. Then I'm going to paint the whole thing with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White. After that, I took this napkin. I think this napkin came from Walmart. It was either Walmart or Hobby Lobby, but I'm pretty sure it was Walmart. I'm going to cut half of it. I'm not going to use the whole napkin. And then I cut off another small section of that. I'm going to add some Mod Podge to the front of my home sign, and I used way too much Mod Podge. I had to kind of brush some of it off because that was too much. But once I had that on there, I set it aside, let it dry for a few minutes. The one nice thing about it being warmer now, I have my ceiling fan usually going, and it really dries the stuff quickly. So I'm going to take this napkin, I'm going to remove the ply, the second ply that's behind it, and then I'm going to take the other piece that I cut, I'm going to do the same thing, and then I'm going to lay the first piece over my home sign. I'm going to get it right where I want it. I'm going to use my favorite method here with my parchment paper and heat press. I was going to put them together, and I thought, you know what, I think it'd be easier to just do the first one first and then add the other one once this one is adhered. So I'm going to do what I always do, just cover it with my parchment paper, go over it with my heat press. Once I had that on there, then I added this one, and I just made sure that the bottom was all matched up as well as the top to make sure there was no gaps, and then hold it in place. You can see that my fan's going because the napkin was blowing everywhere. And then I'm just going to go over that again. And after I had that all done, I'm going to do a method that some of you might not be brave enough to do. But before I do that, I'm going to go over just where the words are with my Mod Podge. I'm trying not to get in the holes or in between, and that's because I'm going to use the lighter method, and the Mod Podge stops the flames. And so that's why I try not to go over where the holes are and stuff, because I don't want to have the napkin covering the holes. So once I had that all on there and dry, I'm going to cut little slits in where the holes are. And that's just to kind of help when I do use the lighter on it. So that was a little too long, so I'm going to cut that piece off, and then I'm going to use my lighter, and I'm just going to watch it burn. And it burnt almost all the way. I do have to use my lighter one more time, but I'm just going to kind of hold it in place and just let it do its thing. Make sure you have water, and if you're not comfortable with doing this, you can definitely just use your a finger sander, or in this case a little finger file would work good because of all the little small areas. So I'm just going to let it burn, and then here is I'm showing you I'm burning the middle part of the words as well, and that's why I cut the holes. It's easier to get it started, although the E, I could not get it to burn, so I did have to just punch the holes in there and try to get the paper out myself. And then I decided I'll just go back and do that, and then I'll burn the middle part there. And then I did end up painting some of the white that had the burnt marks, but I did use my fingers file just a little bit to kind of get off some of the burnt pieces that were still kind of stuck there. And it's just to kind of give it a little bit more of a defined look. And that's all I'm going to do with this. It's a super easy project. You could use any napkin you have, but I just thought it would be so much fun to have the American flag colors. But if you're not an American, you could do your own country's flag. You could do a lot of things with that. Okay, here is your final reveal, you guys. I will be back again on Thursday with another video. I probably will do maybe one more patriotic video this year. It won't be Thursday, but I hope you enjoyed this. I have so many more ideas. That's why I want to get one more of these in. But with all of that, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.